Rajaratnam Kumar Swami, Prabhakar, Girish Amma, Shivoham, Girish, Ajitek, Bisham, Siva. Welcome to the call. Kole, I think that's Chandru, Shivoham, Ashok Chotwani, Komal, Vipul Raj. Welcome to the call. Avinash Savant, and I'm seeing Mr. Dasi Budrani's image. But welcome, my dear friends, to the call. And rest of you, I can't see. Before I forget, I remind you that today is my last day in Switzerland, and I just was returned from a place that Dasi Budrani and me were with Dadaji in Vevi at the Lee Mirador. And today I'm in Zurich. Tomorrow there will be no call. After a period of 3 months, non-stop Ask Air, tomorrow there will be no call. I remind you, I am on a flight from Paris to Bangalore. Today we have a very interesting subject. The subject is on rebirth, the mystery of rebirth. So today we are going to zoom through this topic. What is the real secret? How can we escape from this samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth? Is it possible? Some people don't even know whether rebirth is a reality or not. Is there something like rebirth? Many people don't want to accept. So today we are going to go step by step. We are going to analyze whether rebirth is a reality or not. And at the end of it, you have to discuss. You have to discuss whether it's true or not within yourself. So the point is this, my dear friends. The point is, some people believe there is rebirth, and some people say, no, how can there be rebirth? So here you are. Let us start with a small conversation of two twins in the womb of a mother. There are two little babies who are in the stomach of the woman who is giving birth to two children. And one child tells the other, do you believe in life after birth? Will there be life after birth? And the other says, yes, definitely. After we grow up and after we are 9 months old, we will be born. The first child says, nonsense. What do you mean by born? We are going to be here forever in our mother's stomach. We are going to be here forever, right? The other one says, no. We are going to go outside. There's light and we will be born and there will be a new life. And the other person says, what are you talking about? Where are you going to be born? Where are you going to go outside? I don't believe you. And the one child says, if you are still, if you are quiet, you can hear the voice of mother. Be quiet. Shh. You can hear mother. And the other child said, no, I cannot hear any mother. This is the conversation of two children, two twins who are in the womb, who are in the mother's stomach growing. One believing that they will be born and there is a birth, and one laughing. What are you talking about? What is this birth? No, there is no birth. We will be here and we will be here. That's all. My dear friends, I found this an interesting start because some people do not want to believe that there is something after death. And today we are going to ask some very pertinent questions, very important questions. The first question I ask you, is death certain? Hitkari ji, maut sabko hogi ya koi bach sakta hai? What do you think? Sabko hogi. Mr. Hitkari is giving ishara, maut sabko hogi. But what does death prove to us? Death proves to us that we are not the body. If we were the body, would our children actually burn us? Would children burn their mother or father? How can you burn? You burn not your mother or father. You burn the body of your mother or father. You have to realize that death is certain. But one thing that we must continue to discuss is, while death is certain, it is also certain we are not the body that will die. What do we say? We say he passed away. Where he passed away? Who passed away? What passed away? That we don't know. That we don't know. Somebody, the person passed away. Once a person said, where is John? John, he's not there. I can see him on the bed. No, that is not John on the bed. John is dead. John is not on the bed. John is dead. Then who is that? That is the dead body of John. Where is John? John has gone. Where has John gone? Some heaven, some hell, I don't know. He's gone. So, my dear friends, let us first accept the fact of death. Right? A quick story on that. There was a saint, a woman took a small child, chota bacha, just chota bacha, and saying, Swami, this is my small child. My child has died. I have only one child. My husband left me. I have only this one baby boy of mine. I want this boy alive. If this boy is not alive, I will die. So the Swami says, okay, I will give life back to your boy. I will give this boy life. You just go and get me a bowl of mustard seeds from any house, and I will do some puja and get the life back. But the lady was going to bring the mustard seeds. He told only one condition. The house that gives you the mustard seeds must not have experienced any death. In the house that you're getting mustard seed, there should be no death in that house, ever. So she goes and she tries to get mustard seed. Everybody is willing to give mustard seed. But when she asks, was there a death in your house? In one house, he says, my father died last year. In one house, the child lady says, my son died in an accident. In another house, he says, my sister passed away. In everybody's house, there was death. And so she came back and crying. She handed over the dead baby to the Swami and said, I don't expect life back to my baby. I understand that death is certain. But my friends, when we are talking about death and we are saying death is certain, are we certain about rebirth? Are we certain about rebirth? The rebirth is the question of discussion today. I don't think there's a problem in understanding death. There's a big problem in understanding rebirth. But the first element of that is to realize that we are not the body. There are two proofs. You must remember two proofs. Proof number one, that we burn the body. If I was the body and I died, you would not burn it. In ancient Egypt, they would make mummies of the body. They did not burn the body. You go and see even in Christianity, many fathers, many popes or many priests, they have not burnt the body. They've kept the body as mummies because they used to hope that the life will come back in the body. No, but life is not going to come back. So nowadays, people don't mummify bodies. We let the person get cremated or we bury the body. So my dear friends, one proof, we leave the body. We always say, let's pray for the departed soul. We'll come to that. The second proof to say we are not the body. When we are born, we were already alive in the mother's stomach, in the womb, before the birth date. We have discussed this before. 9 months back, you were conceived. You was no body, but you were alive as a zygote, as a single cell. So be very clear. You were alive before the body and you will be alive after death. First tenet. And this discussion is thanks to Sanjay Das Morsi. This all came up from Morsi and now it's become a book. Sanjay Das, the incident. I asked Sanjay Das, क्या हुआ? मौसी का मृत्यु हो गया तो तुमने मौसी को जला दिया? नहीं, मौसी को नहीं जलाया, मौसी के डेड बॉडी को जलाया. तो मौसी कहाँ है? I hope you all don't forget that Sanjay Das's contribution to this subject. But the point is, we have to realize that the body dies, but we are not the body. Then who are we? If we are not the body, then who are we? This is a question mark. And this is where we have to realize the truth that we are not the body that dies. We are not even me. You know what is me? M-E? We always say me, me, me. No, but me in spirituality means the mind and ego, me. We are not the body that dies. We are not even the mind and ego, me, that carries its karma and it is reborn again and again and again. There is no doubt that we will be reborn again and again. But what we don't understand, if we believe we are going to carry our karma and we are going to be reborn, then we will come back to earth because there is no other option. Why? Because there's a law of karma which states, as you sow, so shall you reap. So that's why if you plant apples, you get apples. You plant mangoes, you get mangoes. But a person who dies has not settled his actions. So that point is also kept aside. So our first tenet is the body dies. The second tenet is we are not the body that dies. The third tenet is the person who dies, who leaves the body, has got unsettled karma. The fourth tenet is the person with unsettled karma has to pay or has to be rewarded. So the next question is there heaven and hell? Will we go to heaven and hell? Who goes? How do we go? You burn the body becomes ashes. And then you say, he's gone to heaven and hell. Who has gone? So these are the tenets that you need to keep aside. And the next point, if I have to settle my karma, where is heaven and hell? Heaven and hell is right here on earth, and we experience it when we take a rebirth. For this, it comes back to the realization that the human body is like a computer. We have spoken about it. There's a hardware. This body is a hardware. There's a software, mind, intellect, memory, ego. But without the power, the computer cannot work. You need a battery. You need a power cord. You need power supply. What makes the human body work? It also has a power, the power of the soul. But we don't understand this power of the soul. We are unable to prove what is the soul. Do we have a soul? No, we are the soul. But this we can't realize. But when we go on this journey of understanding rebirth, slowly we understand. So therefore, there's a good song which I should at this point tell you. The song says, मौत पे मालूम होता कुछ भी मैं ना, रहती है बस मिट्टी और कुछ ना, मौत पे मालूम होता मैं कुछ भी ना, रहती है बस मिट्टी और कुछ ना, आत्मा जो निकल जाती वो है तू ही, तुम बिन मैं क्या हूं प्रभु, कुछ भी नहीं, तुम बिन मिट्टी मिट्टी भी ना, तुम बिन तो मिट्टी भी होना, तुम बिन तो मिट्टी हो कहाँ. So when you have bhakti, this concept of rebirth comes alive. When you realize I am the Atma, I am the soul, I am the divine spirit. What does the Bible say? The Bible says the kingdom of God is within. God lives in the temple of your heart. The Bible, even the Christians believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. My dear friends, it is very important to go through this whole theory one by one, step by step. First, to understand, I am not, death is certain. I am not the body that dies. I leave the body. I carry my karma. Where do I go? Then you see a small child being born. And a small child is born, and the small child is born blind. And then we question, why? Why is the small child born blind? We don't realize that there is a law of karma. And this law of karma is closely connected with rebirth. If you don't understand the law of karma, you cannot understand rebirth. The law of karma is the universal law. Because in this world, whatever you sow, so shall you reap. Some people wonder why my life is so unhappy. They don't realize it is their own karma coming back to them. There's no luck. Nothing called luck. It is our own karma that's coming back to us. So I always tell people, अच्छा या बुरा जो किया, कर्म हमने जो भी किया, कर्म का कानून है ऐसा, पुनर्जन्म हमें है लेना, कर्म से हमें बचना, यही मकसद जीने का। ओ कर्म से हमें बचना, यही मकसद जीने का। तो अच्छा या बुरा जो भी किया, हम अच्छा करेंगे भी पुनर्जन्म हो, बुरा करेंगे भी पुनर्जन्म हो। इट इज नॉट कि ओनली बुरा करेंगे तो पुनर्जन्म होगा, नहीं, अच्छा करेंगे तो भी पुनर्जन्म होगा। यो ब्रिजिट, यू गेट द पॉइंट? नो ब्रिजिट, if you do good things, you will be born, and if you do bad things also, you will be born. Good or bad, you will come again, because you have to settle the account of good and bad. But the challenge is for us to escape. Who carries this karma? The mind and ego. It is born in a new body. How do you prove this? So there are many stories. I have not told the interesting story of the king who had 4 wives. Have I told you the story of king who had 4 wives? The king who had 4 wives. King had 4 wives, right? 4. So one wife was his darling, the most darling wife. Second was okay. And like in that order, the last, he did not like the last wife. So one day they told the king that it's time for you to die. So he went to the first wife and he said, I'm going to die. Will you come with me? She said, no, I will not come with you. If you die, I will marry somebody else. So like who? It's our body. The first wife is the body. The body will not go with us when we die. First, the body will say, no, I will not go. Then he went to the second wife. He asked her, she said, nobody else. We die, our wealth, our money, our possessions with the second wife. Then he told the third wife, will you come to me when I die? The third wife said, I will come. I will come only up to the cremation ground. And after your cremation, I will come back. They say the third wife is like our relatives. All our relatives come up to the cremation ground. Then the fourth wife told, I'll come with you. And the story goes, the fourth wife is nothing but who's the fourth wife? It is the karma. It is the karma. The karma goes. It's only the karma that goes with us. Nothing else goes. If we have 4 wives, all the 4 wives will not go. Only the karma. The body will not go. Money, possessions will not go. Relationships will not go. But karma will go with the mind and ego to be reborn. So my dear friends, today you have to ask me questions preferably on rebirth. We must stick to the subject today because I like to go step by step. I always ask the question, why is a child born blind? And some people say because God is unfair. And some people say God is not unfair, but God is incapable. God is not powerful because there is a devil. Some people believe God is one side, devil is other side. So who makes the child is born blind is a devil. There is no devil. If there was a devil, then the earth would not be going round and round and round. Devil will stop it. There is no chance of the sun not coming up tomorrow morning. There is perfection in this universe. God has created a perfect universe. But it is for us to understand, right? So, my friends, why is it that a child is born blind? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about it? Hear this, and then you tell me an answer. जन्म अपना कैसे होता, कर्मों से ये तो होता है, अच्छे कर्मों का जो फल है, जन्म में हमको मिलता है। छोटे से एक बच्चे ने, छोटे से इस बच्चे ने ऐसा क्या किया है कि अंधा पैदा हुआ है। पिछले कर्मों का हिसाब है, कर्मों से कोई ना बचता है। कर्मों से आगे हमें बढ़ना है, मुक्ति पाना है। We have to go beyond karma. People know the law of karma, but people don't know the meaning, how to transcend karma. As long as you know karma, you do good karma, you will be born as a prince, as a princess, in a rich family, in a good family, but you will still suffer. You will still suffer. Therefore, you have to pass, you have to bypass karma. How do you bypass karma? कर्मों से आगे हमें बढ़ना है. How? By realizing that when the body dies, the mind and ego carries the karma. But even the mind and ego is an illusion. Mind and ego is mithya. Mind and ego is not satya. But we don't realize this. We think me, 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 me. What is me? Who says me? Mind and ego, M-E. In the spiritual world, mind and ego has a different connotation. But unfortunately, some of us, we don't even understand the meaning of karma. So today, if you are not clear about the concept of karma, please ask me. Because don't think, oh, so many people are dying in Afghanistan. God is cruel. Taliban is devil. No, Taliban is not devil. All karma. COVID. So many people died in COVID. Yeah, why did they die? Karma. Some died, some escaped. Everything is karma. There is no luck. There is no chance. There is nothing. Only karma, 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 and karma. Everything happens as per karma because it's a universal law. You can't escape from it. And there are many such laws. One law is the law of gravity. You know the story of gravity. Newton was sitting one day, padang, apple fell on his head. So many times apple fell on his head, people said, ouch. An apple fell on that, padang, ouch. But when his apple fell on the head, he said, way, what happened? Way. He said, I have discovered the law of gravity. The law of gravity was always there. But how did Newton capture the law? How did he discover the law? Because he asked the question, why the apple came down? Why the apple did not fly in the sky? Nobody asked the question for 2000 years. Nobody asked the question here in 1666. Before 1666, when Newton discovered this, nobody asked the question, why apple is falling down? Why apple is not flying in the sky? So also, one day science will accept rebirth as a reality. Because when you join the dots, if you want to understand rebirth, here it comes. You have to join the dots. And when you join the dots, the picture will come. Dot number 1, death is certain. Dot number 2, I am not the body that dies. Dot number 3, I have karma, which is not finished. Dot number 4, I don't go to heaven or hell. There's no chance because the body is burnt. Point. Dot number 5, why is a child, that a newborn child, suffer? Point number 6, the mind and ego karma is being reborn. Join these dot, 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 dot. You will see the picture of rebirth. But the picture comes as a realization. How do you escape from rebirth? Because when you realize, I am not the body, you come back in karma. But when you realize, I am not even the mind and ego of me, I am not the mind and ego that's carrying karma, then who am I? I am not the mind and ego, then there's no karma. You drop the karma. Once you drop the karma, there's no karma. There is no rebirth. There is no rebirth. So This is the mystery of rebirth. Rebirth is the reality. Rebirth is 100% real. But there's a way to escape from rebirth. How do you escape from rebirth? By understanding the truth of rebirth, by understanding how we don't want to come back to the samsara again and again. The goal is mukti, the goal is moksha, nirvana, enlightenment, salvation, unification, realization. Then we must realize the simple, just two things we have to realize. One, I am not the body that dies. Easy to understand. Two, I am not the mind and ego me, because that is an illusion. It is maya. It is mithya. The moment we realize these two things, we are liberated and we are united with God. So, my dear friends, this is the essence of today's discussion. I can go on and on, but we have 30 minutes. There's a way to be free from rebirth. The way to be free from rebirth is the way to be free from karma. Nobody can be free from karma. So therefore, there's a long story there. To be free from karma in action, not freedom from action. That comes with the realization, I am not the body, I am not the mind and ego. I know that it's not easy to understand this, but therefore the concentration is on karma. Remember, I told you this song long time back. The arrow that leaves, Tir leaves the dhanush. Once you leave the dhanush, the karma is done. You're caught in the karma. So the song says, Tir jo dhanush se nikle vapas wo na aaye, karm ka hisab वैसे किया तो फल हम है पाए, जो किया वापस आए, कोई इसको रोक ना पाए. You can't stop. Once you leave the arrow will hit. Once you do the action, the karma is recorded. But how can we escape from karma? This is the biggest challenge. The moment you escape from karma, you escape from rebirth. This is the challenge. There's a very interesting story you must hear between Yudhishthir and Yaksha. It's called the Yaksha story. You must hear it, but today there is no time. We are coming to the end. Are you clear about death, karma, rebirth? These concepts you have to be clear. And if you're not clear, then you will never understand either death, you will not understand how the law of karma works, and you will not decode the mystery of rebirth. The mystery of rebirth is very simple. Just like you ask somebody, do you believe in death? Of course I believe in death. Do you believe in karma? Of course I believe in karma. If you believe in death and you believe in karma, you have to believe in rebirth. There is no other solution. So if you have any doubt, let me answer your doubts. Next week, I am motivated to speak to you on the 5 rewards of going on a quest. We touched it briefly in one of the calls. The 5 rewards of going on a quest, on a talash. So I told you my guru made me go on a talash, but there are 5 rewards. What are the 5 rewards of going on a quest? But today my request is, let us first try to concentrate today on rebirth. Let us try to have question answers. I'm requesting you all to stick to question answers on rebirth, and then we will try to answer other question answers. Of course, I can't refuse any questions that come to me, but I'm hoping that you will ask me questions on rebirth. So everybody on the call will be blessed by your questions to realize the truth. Let us start, Administrator. What are the questions on rebirth? Tanu Chopra. Tanu Chopra.
Shivoham Guruji. Shivoham Guruji. Guruji, I wanted to ask.
Yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Please ask me, Tanu.
Yeah, Guruji, I wanted to ask you, sometimes unconsciously we think something, but that thing it does not turn into action. But sometimes when we are stressed, some things come in our mind. So does that has an effect on this rebirth or in karma?
If you have some thoughts, you're talking about thoughts in your mind.
Thoughts.
Thoughts have no action on, no effect on karma.
Okay, so
If you have a bad thought, but you don't let the bad thought become a bad deed, it does not influence your karma. It does not influence your rebirth.
okay, and that but it influences the current state of mind.
It influences your current state of mind. It influences your feelings. It can become an action. If it becomes an action, it becomes a karma. It influences your rebirth. But if you control it, if you control your thought, if you control your mind, then there is no effect on your karma or your rebirth.
And one more question I was having, there's a soft line, a very thin line between self-respect and ego. So when do we actually cross it? When do self-respect becomes ego?
Self-respect is a diplomatic way of ego, just a diplomatic term of ego. So we must, the best thing is, what do you mean by self-respect? The moment you say self-respect, you are creating duality. That means you are thinking me and you separate. The minute we are doing that, we are in avidya, we are in maya. That means the ego will come. The moment you do, why you want to only respect yourself? Why not others? Because God is in you and God is in me and God is in everybody. So what is the self-respect all about?
So self-respect is equivalent to having ego. It is
It is a seed of ego. It is just the seed.
It is me.
You must have as much self-respect as much as you love your servant. Even the servant has got the divine, only self-respect. Why not servant respect? Because we don't look at the servant as God. गाली ए तुम साली समझते नहीं, पागल है, कहां से आया, तुम्हारा भेजा है कि भेजा नहीं? We say or we don't say? भगवान को बोलेंगे, ए भगवान तुम्हारे का भेजा है कि नहीं भगवान? Will you tell like that?
And
So
one
whenever
more
you're
doubt.
telling a servant, remember you're talking to God.
No, I talk to them very nicely. I never tell them anything. One.
No, I don't mean you, like, I'm just telling you as a general, right? I'm not saying to follow.
And one more doubt I was having was that there are millions of people in this earth. So who keeps that hisab kitab कि तुमने अच्छा कर्म नहीं करा था? So there is a superpower inside who has all that accounts कि you did these things wrong, so you will get this all karma, this karma in this term.
अरे तनु, तुम्हारे अंदर ही हिसाब किताब रखा है ना, तुम्हारे अंदर ही आत्मा है ना, वो तुम्हारा आत्मा तुम्हारा हिसाब किताब रखता है। अशोक चोटवानी का आत्मा उसका हिसाब किताब रखता है। शंकर सेल्वराज का आत्मा टेक्स केयर ऑफ हिज हिसाब किताब। क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
ठीक है। Yes, Guruji.
Everybody has got audio video recorder inside them. You don't need to have a record of 8 billion people. No. Everybody has got selfie. हर एक के अंदर selfie है. चलो, next question.
Thank you, Guruji. Shivam.
Thank you. Shankar Selvaraj.
Hello, Shivam. Shivam Guruji.
Shivam, sir. Bolo.
My question is, now some say, I've heard that the bad karma comes within the current life itself, and you are saying that karma will pass on to next birth. So which is actually true? What is the speed at which this karma?
You please tell me, Shankar Selvaraj. Suppose you are living today. Correct?
Mm. Mm.
That means you are creating karma today also, you agree?
Yes.
Suddenly you die.
Mm.
Death is sudden.
Mm.
What about all the karma you are creating today? How do you have not yet settled all those karma?
Mm. Correct.
You agree or you don't agree?
Yes. Correct.
So there's no chance of till the moment you are dying, you are creating karma, fresh karma, fresh karma, fresh karma. It cannot be settled immediately. Death happens all of a sudden.
Mm.
So there is a carried forward karma. Second question, second analogy to you, Shankar Selvaraj. If
Mm.
all the karma are settled in this lifetime, then please tell me why a child is born blind. Can you tell me?
Something is remaining.
Then-
Something.
So there are two clear tenets, two clear proofs that A, our karma is not settled before death, and B, a newborn child tells us that there is something of karma that the child is bringing to the earth.
Mm.
Okay?
Now,
Thank you.
now,
Thank you, sir.
now
Anything
one
else?
more question.
Yes, yes.
One more question.
Yes.
So when we are born, we don't decide who is our father, who is our mother, where we are born. This all is decided by karma. And
Absolutely.
now, as we live our life, as we continue the journey of our life, we meet. Let's assume that we are following that we do not want to live in the conscious of mind and ego to avoid generating any karma. So even though we are trying to avoid karma, there are other people, strangers who meet in our life, who may bring us trouble or suffering, and that may cause us to generate some karma. How to avoid that?
Yeah, what other people do is their problem. The moment you react, you are creating karma. You have to be careful not to react. What other people are doing is your past karma coming back to you. You are reacting is you're creating new karma. If you create new karma, then you're caught with that karma. You have to pay for it. So you have to be very careful. You can think. Thinking is not a problem. The thought should not become a karma. Karma means action. You must control your actions. If you don't control your action, it will become.
So we have to be very careful with the people who come into our lives.
Yes, absolutely. You have to be disciplined. You have to be alert. You have to be sangat, satsang. You must be in good satsang. Satsang means you must have sangat of good people. Okay, thank you. Next question, please. Sangam Gupta. Yes, Sangam ji.
सर ये क्वेश्चन रीबर्थ का नहीं है, एक क्वेश्चन मतलब आई एम wondering from last 7 or 8 days is organ donation is to be done or not to be done?
Of course it should be done. देखिए, organ donation, if you want to do it, you must do it. If you want to do it, I am not telling you to do it. अगर आपके मन में आता है, let me give you the logic. मैं आपको logic समझाऊं?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
एक logic ये है, जिसमें organ प्रभु के लिए organ
No. Voice is not.
God is not expecting you to give your organs. But if you feel that you want to donate your organ after your death, you should not hesitate. I think there's a problem in the voice, I believe. Unmute me. Okay, I think that's clear now.
Yeah, no, it's clear.
Is it better, my friends?
Yeah, better.
Okay. So, Sangam ji, I am saying you do not have to donate your organs out of compulsion. और सुनिए, मरने के बाद organ का क्या होगा? What happens? तो फिर देने में किसी को देने में क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं, वही मतलब मैंने आई हैड स्पोकन टू वन पर्सन कि ये शरीर तुमको कैसे मिला है, तुम शरीर को ऐसे कैसे, इट्स ए गॉड गिफ्टेड, what you are donating in next birth, you are losing that parts in the body. If you are donating eyes, you are losing the eyes. If you are donating kidneys, you are losing kidneys.
No. बिल्कुल गलत बात.
And he also
Sudeep,
tells me that
the voice clear now, Sudeep?
is
Sudeep, is
better.
the voice clear?
Yes, now it's clear, sir.
Okay. So संगम जी, there is no doubt कि अगर आप आंख अपने ये लाइफ में किसी को आईज देंगे, you will not be born blind next janam. No question at all. No question at all.
4 days earlier, I had decided, and my wife decided, let's donate the body to the medical science. Whatever be the left, they will be burned. But someone create a confusion. So I had written you on WhatsApp also, sir, what is your opinion to donate the body?
My opinion is, if you feel like doing it, please do it. But please understand, by doing it out of ego, suppose you have ego, I am donating my eyes, I am donating my organ, then it is no use to donate.
No, I am not. It's a no ego. It's not a question of ego.
If you feel like donating, Sangamji, it's a noble work. Please do it.
Thank you very much.
Please do it without any hesitation. It is a good karma.
Thank you very much.
But let me tell you one thing. Good karma करने से मोक्षा नहीं मिलेगा.
Yeah, I'm not asking for the moksha. I'm just asking your opinion. Moksha
I'm giving opinion, but I'm making my point clear.
मोक्षा तो वो अपने कर्मों से मिलेगा. It's not a
नहीं, मोक्षा मिलने के लिए कर्म से आगे बढ़ना है. We have to realize हम आत्मा है. We have to go beyond this body.
Yeah.
We don't have to give too much importance to the body.
Yeah.
तो इसका मतलब नहीं कि you don't have to give your organs. आपको मन आता है organ देना है, please देना.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, please.
When you will be back to Bangalore, sir?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So
tomorrow.
I will connect you on telephone day after tomorrow. Can it be possible?
You can. I'll be available on Sunday. Tomorrow I'm in a flight from Paris to Bangalore. Tomorrow midnight I'm in Bangalore.
So, can call you on Monday. It's better, safer side.
Sunday or Monday. Please message me and then call back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ashok Chotwani.
Sure, Mayor, sir.
Sure, Ashok.
Sir, I want to know, after death of human body, will he born as a human body or anyone else?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Ashok, but actually, who had to...
Suno meri baat, Ashok. See, either we will be born as a human body, that is for pakka. But there are some possibilities as per Buddhist and as per Jain philosophy. We can be born as a dog. We can be born as a cat. Abhi, you and me do not know. The truth is we do not know. Lekin, the possibility is there. I'll explain to you why, Ashok. Please take a dog or a cat. Today, you go and take a dog and a cat. Look at the eyes. Jab you look at the eyes of a dog and a cat, can you feel the Atma inside or you cannot feel?
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
That means you can be born as a dog or a cat.
But how we settle the karma?
How?
How settle the karma?
No, there's no
karma.
No, you want to settle the karma.
No. Any person who dies, along with karma, he has to settle his accounts, no, sir? Unsettled accounts of karma.
The only way to settle the account is through rebirth, through Punarjanam.
Okay.
But Ashok, अगर आप कोई मरता है, अकाउंट कैसे सेटल होगा? अब आपने you take money from the bank. आपने बैंक से 1 लाख लोन दिया. How will you settle 1 lakh rupees? How will you settle? If you take 1 lakh from bank, how will you settle?
No, we have to pay the bank, no, sir.
Same thing. Karma also you have to pay.
Okay.
If you pay as Ashok Chotwani, you pay as Ashok Chotwani. If you die tomorrow, Ashok Chotwani will die. Kaun marega? Ashok Chotwani. But you will not die. No, but you will not die.
True, sir. Yeah.
Who said Ashok Chotwani, jo Atma hai, that person along with karma will go to the next janam. You have to pay.
Yeah.
Are you understanding, Ashok?
Yeah, I understood, sir. Yeah.
Ashok, the moment you realize I am not Ashok Chotwani, if you realize I am not the mind and ego, if you realize ye mera karma hai hi nahi, फिर क्या होगा? फिर क्या होगा?
I will be enlightened and there will be no question of rebirth. Yeah.
Exactly. You know the answer.
Yeah.
You know the answer,
Yeah.
but you don't realize the answer. You know the answer, but you're not realizing the answer.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Next question. Dattatray.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam Dattatray.
Sir, today I read in Bhagavad Gita. While death, if we are in Sattva Gun, we become God. While we are in Rajogun, we get Manushya Jalma. And if we are in Tamogun, we are getting prani, animals. तो गुणातीत अवस्था इसे पार करना है, यानी तीन गुणों के आगे जाना है. सत्व गुण से भी हम जब क्रॉस करेंगे, है ना, तो हाउ टू अचीव इट गुणातीत अवस्था? Yes.
See, this is only for us to follow a sattvic life. This teaching is given to us not to be tamasic, not to be rajasic, but we should be sattvic.
Yeah.
This is the advice given by the swamis, the rishis.
Oh, yes.
But understand the point. If you have got sattva gun or rajogun or tamogun, you cannot attain mukti or moksha. That's what they're saying, is what you agreed. You also read like this. You have to go beyond the gunas. You have to go beyond the gunas.
Correct. Yes.
How do you go beyond the gunas?
I want to understand.
By realizing you are the Atma.
Yeah.
The guna belongs to whom? The guna belongs to the body, mind and ego. Dattatray is not the body. Dattatray is not mind and ego. When you realize I am the soul in Dattatray, Sid, S-I-D, soul in Dattatray. When you realize I am Sid, then you are passing the gunas, Sataguna, Rajoguna, Tamaguna, and you become the Atma. The Atma has no gunas.
Yeah.
Atma is nirguna. Atma has no gunas.
Correct. Yes.
So our goal is that, Dattatray, our goal is to reach that level where we are beyond gunas.
Correct.
Not being sattvic, not saying I am the ego doing sattva guna, but of course, whether you do sattva, rajasic, tamasic, is better to do sattvic, but go beyond sattvic. Try to go beyond.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Next, Krishna Sharma, sir.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, sir.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Very well, sir.
Sir, my doubt is, we are doing all the karmas. We are doing all the karmas in an environment where our families, friends, and the society is with us.
Yes.
So, to repay this karma after death, we have to reborn in the same society with the same family members. Is it immediate, or we have to wait for the right occasion?
No, you have no control on that. You come alone and you go alone. There is no question of you being reborn. It's just like saying also 10 people are committing a crime together. 10 Talibanis. 10 Talibanis are killing together. Those 10 Talibanis will not be born again together. Everybody, karma is an individual account. Karma is an individual account. There is no confusion. There is no family karma. There is no joint karma.
No. I am owing some karma to the family members. It is my karma only, not their karma.
Then
whether I have to born in the same family to repay the karma.
no, I'm not understanding your point.
Suppose if I was born to my parents,
Yeah.
and if I am having my sons, daughters, and wife,
Yeah.
I am doing the karma because of these people's influence.
So you're doing the karma because of them.
And because of them, and I am owing something to them to repay the karma because they are serving me or they are treating me. So I have to pay back my karma to them.
Why you have to pay your karma to them?
We are owing to them, sir. Just like you have told bank, we have taken the loan. We have to repay the loan to the bank.
Your karma is only your karma. Your karma is not connected to any other individual. Your karma is only Krishna Sharma's karma. You don't suppose today. I think I'm understanding your point. If you do something bad to me, does not mean I have to do bad to you, no? The karma, whatever karma we accumulate is our karma. We don't have to settle with the same people.
Oh, but the thing, there is a confusion, sir.
Please repeat one more time.
No, the thing is, we are related here as Guru and Shishya.
Yeah.
Suppose I am not enlightened.
Yeah.
Still, I have to take birth to become a disciple to you in the next Janma in some other form.
No, wrong. You will not. You don't have to be my disciple. First of all, I am not a guru. First of all, but
No.
if anybody has to be, see, you're thinking of it being like a single lane. No, it's not a single lane. Your birth, you may be born in Moscow. You may be born in Nagaland. You may be born in Antarctica. What are you talking about? Where's the question of two people may not be seeing each other in the next birth at all? You don't think that Krishna Sharma will be, once you have died, there is no connection with the family member at all. There is no connection at all.
Okay, sir. That is my wrong understanding. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Gaurish.
Gaurish's question is, you told Bhagwan Rajneesh was enlightened and how he slipped because he had conquered all the senses, how he fell in the trap of Bhoga. We have to ask Rajneesh, Gaurish. How Rajneesh fell into the trap, we have to go and ask him. And he's no more there. All I can tell you is I have seen some of his videos and I have my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. My opinion is some of his videos are very enlightening and his future behavior is very disappointing. So therefore, my evaluation is that he was an enlightened being who fell down into bhoga. From a yogi, he became a bhogi. That is my understanding. Maybe I am wrong. This is my opinion. This is my understanding. Next question, please. Roop. Yes, your question of Roop, please. Roop.
How to realize a person has enlightened?
How to realize a person has been enlightened? Just like when you go to a dark room, how do you know there's light in the room? If you can see, that means the light is switched on. If you cannot see, that means the light is off. When you meet a person, you can, if the person is enlightened, in 1 second you can make out. That person will have a complete command of birth, death, God, heaven, rebirth. That person would be living like a yogi. That person will have no greed. That person, you can be able to, if you are a genuine seeker, it is very easy to recognize an enlightened soul. But you have to open your eyes to see. You should know the qualifications. If you don't know the qualifications, you cannot evaluate the enlightened soul. Next question, please.
Bharti Ramesh.
Bharti Ramesh. Where is Bharti? Are you there? Bharti is asking a question. How to settle karma in the birth to avoid rebirth? The only way to settle karma to avoid rebirth is enlightenment. The only way, not by doing good karma, Bharti. You do hundreds of good karma. Krishna Sharma wrote this. You do hundreds of good karma. Ashok Chotwani. All of you spoke. You can do hundreds and thousands of good karma. You cannot get You cannot get moksha. The only way to moksha is realization of the truth. It is enlightenment. The moment you are enlightened, the moment you realize I am the Atma, I am not the body. The moment you realize, मैं तो ये तन मन ना हूं ना मैं अहंकार, सच में तो मैं जानू मैं आत्मा और कुछ ना, एहसास हुआ फिर भी फंसा, एक युद्ध मेरे अंदर लड़ता मैं हमेशा, मैं फंसा, मैं खुद में फंसा, there is a war inside me, there's a war, तू बचा, तू आके बचा. So the moment you realize, Bharti, I am not the body, मैं तो ये तन मन ना हूं ना मैं अहंकार, सच में तो मैं जानू मैं आत्मा और कुछ ना. That is the way to transcend all karmas. Next question, please.
Joyce.
Joyce. Yes, Joyce. Joyce has a question. She has typed the question. Joyce, do some people after dying become ghosts? If yes, why does that happen? People do not become ghost because when they roast, after the chicken is roast, it goes into your stomach, right? Have you seen chicken roast? Ask Veena, she will tell you. After making chicken roast, it goes in the stomach. What I'm saying is, when the person dies, where is the question of ghost? Ghost is like Santa Claus. Have you ever seen a ghost? You have never seen a ghost. Nobody has seen a ghost. We only imagine a ghost. Oh, if you see like this, if the night is a fluttering, you go to, in Hindi movies, there's a producer director called Ramsey. Oh, they'll do like this. They'll say, oh, ghost, ghost. No, that's not ghost, Joyce. Let us understand. Let us.
So why
grow up.
do people get possessed? I mean, they have spirits in their body. They say that they are dead and they get
Even you
possessed.
have a spirit. Even you have a spirit. I have a spirit. Why does a man become madman? Have you seen mad people? Mad people is a physiological problem. Spirit is to do with a physiological problem, a neurological problem. There is nothing to do with spirituality. We have been taught a lot of nonsense. Because of this nonsense, we have been taught about ghosts and we are scared of ghosts. This is a wrong way for us to be manipulated. We should not believe in these things. We have to, just like Santa Claus. We keep teaching our children Santa Claus brings gifts. It's a lie. We only keep the gifts. There is no ghost. There is nothing in this world called ghost. It is a lie. It is a complete lie. Next question, please. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
This is Bridget.
Bridget. Yes, Bridget. My dear
I would
Bridget,
like to know, dear, how much karma we can have.
how much karma you can have?
Yeah.
So Bridget, every action is a karma, Bridget. Every action. Suppose you go to the supermarket and you're buying something and the person, he gives you 10 francs extra and you take it. It's a bad karma. If he gives 10 franc extra, you give it back and you tell him you're giving me extra, it becomes a good karma. What I'm saying is every day, every moment is a karma, karma. Suppose there's a mosquito trying to bite you. It is here. If you just do this, it's a good karma. If you kill it, it's a bad karma. Why did you kill it? It is biting you. You just do like this. So I'm just explaining to you, we must do good karma and good karma and good karma. But Bridget, as long as we do karma, we will come back to the world. Whether it is good or bad, we have to come back to the world. What is the goal, Bridget? The goal is to become one with Lord, is to become one with God. We don't want to come back. We want to be in divine union. That is the goal. We must try to be in divine union. Okay,
Thank
so karma will continue. Every action is a karma. The word karma means action. Any action you do is a karma.
Okay. I'm thinking out many.
So you think how to go beyond karma, how to escape from karma. Then you realize, I am not the person doing the karma. I am not the body doing the karma. I am not the mind doing the karma. I am the soul. If you realize I am the soul, then there's no karma. Then you're free. Then you become one with God. Okay, Bridget? Kiran, thank you, Bridget. Kiran Kathuria. You want to ask something more, Bridget?
Shivoham.
Shivoham, Kiran.
Pranam, Guruji.
Pranam.
Guruji, I may be asking a silly question, but it is coming in my mind many times. If it is a silly question, then also I am sorry for that.
No
Guruji,
question is silly. No question.
I am grateful to my parents because because in our homes my parents were vegetarian, so automatically I became vegetarian. But in families, people are eating daily non-veg. Now, when any child is born and grows in that environment, and he has got no choice. He will take non-veg because at home daily non-veg is being cooked. So, in that case, the person has got no choice. Like this, there are many things where parents are responsible for the things.
So what is your question?
My question is then the fault is not of the person, but of the environment, because parents are doing that.
The fault of eating non-veg by a child is not the karma of the child. It is the karma of the parent. If a parent is making a child eat non-vegetarian, it is not the child's fault. But when the child becomes an adult and still eats non-vegetarian, then he says, see, understand, non-vegetarian is not a big deal. People have made a very big deal. People have made a very big deal of non-vegetarian. It's not about non-vegetarian or vegetarian. It's about compassion. It's about kindness. It's about love. So this is a very big subject. Just by eating non-vegetarian. Hold on.
I am thinking on compassion ground only.
No, just by eating non-vegetarian, are you telling me that all the vegetarian people will go to heaven, will get mukti?
Oh, no,
of course not. Of course not. So don't have this feeling that all the vegetarian people are godly people and they will get mukti and all the non-vegetarian people will go to hell. No, this is not correct. Whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian is not the main criteria. The main criteria is realization of the truth. The main criteria is liberation and unification. Let us not get stuck on the subject of vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Let us go beyond that.
Thank you, Guruji.
And
Thank you.
not the child who's innocent child who's eating, it's not his karma. Next, any more question?
Thank you.
Thank you. Galaxy M21. Question by Galaxy M21. How can we uncondition our mind? How can you uncondition your mind? Just like how can you wash a dirty cup? If a cup is full of coffee, you want to drink clean water, first you wash the cup, then you put water. If your mind is dirty, don't just shampoo your hair. You shampoo your mind. You put shampoo inside your mind. Huh? Don't ask me how to put shampoo inside your mind. You put a shampoo inside your mind means you clean your mind with positive emotions, with bhakti, with kirtan, with a good guru, with good reading of scriptures, by prayer to God. There are different ways to clean the mind. You must try to clean the mind. Don't just shampoo your hair. Huh? A lot of people spend a lot of money on shampoo for the hair, but nobody spends money for shampooing the mind. So please shampoo your mind, which means please clean your mind inside. Last question for today. Oppo Reno. Last question, Oppo Reno. It's typed question. If some karma did by mistake unknowingly, there is no karma for unknowing action. there is no karma for an action which is done without knowing. The moment it is done without knowing, it is not a karma. Karma is only an action which is intentional. If an action is unintentional, it is not a karma. Therefore, action by a madman is not valid. Action by an animal is not valid. Action by a mentally handicapped person, not valid. And action by a child who is underdeveloped, not valid. Only action is valid when it is conscious. My dear friends, we had a very interesting discussion on rebirth, but I thought I'll have more questions on rebirth. I would like you to ponder today on rebirth. Tomorrow there's no call. I hope you'll remember. Sudeep, we all clear about it. There's no call tomorrow. And if somebody comes online, there will be nobody to answer, right? We are resuming a call on Sunday. And I wish that all of you will still think. You have 2 days to think. Today to tomorrow and tomorrow to Sunday. On Sunday, try to understand the mystery of rebirth. Try to be clear about rebirth, about moksha, about liberation, because this is the key to enlightenment. So I'm requesting, with that request, that all of you should try to concentrate on the question of rebirth. With that note, and with, as I'm always grateful to you, I bow down to you, and I will see you once I'm back to India, God willing. I will be online at 8 on Sunday to have the Ask Care on Sunday, not tomorrow. I bow down to you. Thank you.